Picture this, you've just landed in a brand new country. Everything around you is fresh and exciting, but where do you begin? A large part of this year has made me reminisce about my experiences in the first few months in the UK. Moving to the UK was one of the most exciting things I have ever done. It was also challenging, you see. At first, I felt lost and unsure of how to navigate my new city. Traveling to go visit a place is not exactly the same as completely relocating to a new place to live and work long term. So it is very normal to feel lost. Somehow, I managed to find my way, but not without help. Here are 5 crucial steps I can confidently say that if you take, you will integrate and grow faster in any new country as an immigrant. These are the steps I would take if I ever found myself in a new country or even in a new city in the UK that I'm in. Number 1, I would try to join a community as soon as possible. I think it is too much deception to have an I know it all mentality when you are in a new country. Find a group of people who challenge and inspire you. Spend a lot of time with them and it will change your life. And as the African proverb suggests, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. When I talk about a community, it could be professional. Like we have a group for nurses in my city and other groups for nurses across the UK, which I quickly joined as soon as I entered the UK. There are also church groups or other groups of like-minded individuals, especially those who have walked the path you are now about to undertake. Look, there are 3 important benefits I enjoy being part of a community. The first one being social and emotional support. Being part of a community drastically reduced feelings of isolation and loneliness. I really can relate sometimes when people come on the internet and say that they feel lonely abroad. Maybe I'm just fortunate, but I really find it difficult to believe that there is nobody or group at all that you can safely connect with. At least just to give you guidance on navigating daily life in your new country. Maybe you should try asking around. Secondly, with communities, I have personally found myself being challenged many times by the people in the groups I belong. I can't forget when I learned that someone, a nurse, moved from a band 5 to band 8 within a very short period. It was then I quickly concluded that my education and experiences from back home were not useless. From that moment onward, I challenged myself to apply for a band 6 role, which I got in less than 2 years in the UK. Do not live in isolation for any reason. When you join a group, don't just keep quiet, engage. And number 3 benefits is cultural integration. Engaging with a community helped me to learn much faster about the local culture here. There are many things I could do back home that are very normal, but they can be offensive here. On the flip side, when I entered this UK, if I hadn't learned how to work smart in the way of the system, I probably would have been crying after every of my shifts. There is nothing new under the sun. If you join a really good community, you will learn all sorts of stuff quickly. Step 2, I would save to buy my own house as fast as possible. And I mean fast. For me, I envy people who have mastered the art of saving very early on in their journey. It is so satisfying to see yourself in your own house within the first 2 to 3 years of moving into a new country. This is why when people celebrate their house purchase and others come online to say rubbish like, is it not with mortgage? What's there to celebrate? You still have monthly payments to make. I just take it that they don't know what they're talking about. It takes a lot of dedication to force yourself to save for a deposit. 10% of a £250,000 house, for example, is £25,000. If it was easy to save £25,000, I'm very sure a lot of people would be homeowners by now. But that's not the case for obvious reasons. So make it a top priority to save as much as possible. Like Dave Ramsey will always say, if you will live like no other, later you can live and give like no other. As much as we are all trying to save, of course, let's also remember home, our family and friends in need. I think at this rate, we should normalize sending money home and put it as part of our monthly budget for charity. And with the way conversion rate keeps fluctuating, I try to use the best international money transfer app out there right now, Lemfi. If you're in the UK, US or Canada, Lemfi is the best international money transfer platform right now. You can send money to up to 10 African countries completely free of charge. I have been using Lemfi for the past 4 years since I entered the UK and they have never disappointed me. All transactions are completely free and you get the most competitive rates daily. So if you want a hassle-free experience when you send cash to family and friends internationally, use the link in the description below to sign up now and you will receive £15 when you send £100 and above for the first time, when of course you use my code NSK2024 as you can see on the screen. Thank you Lemfi for sponsoring this video. Step 3, I will find a way to live in the cheapest city city possible, as long as it is safe and doesn't affect my career. This is one of those topics that can spark controversies depending on how you view it and an understanding of how your ideal place for you should be. Normally, this is a matter of supply and demand. The more developed a city is, the more people flock into it. Consequently, the higher the cost of living and vice versa. Look at London and its environs, for example. Look at the population growth. It's crazy how much people pay for a shared apartment in London compared to other places in the same UK. But then living in a cheaper city might be boring, on the other hand, for a lot of people. So there's really no one size fits all here. Unfortunately, oftentimes you really cannot control where you get your first job if you are relocating from another country, especially these days that jobs are scarce to get. So perhaps come in first, see whether you can cope with the cost of living in the city, otherwise relocate somewhere cheaper. Step 4. In any community that I find myself, I am going to try to spot and avoid people who only speak negative and see negative things about the country. Someone said something very important that I have come to understand better with experience. He said, when you are new to a place, avoid frustrated people. There are people who are just frustrated and sick and tired of the country. Just avoid them. There's absolutely nothing good that they can tell you about the country, but to tell you it's not worth staying in the same country where there are people living large and doing very well for themselves. Now, there is a particular set of people I will be careful around. People who have relocated to the country in the last 12 to 24 months. Please hear me out. I did not say I wouldn't listen to them. I just would be more careful. Obviously, they are often the go-to people if you want very current information, because they are also relatively new, but with some experience. So they can be very useful in helping other newbies to avoid loopholes and other problems they may have encountered when they were new. Let's face it, there is some information that unless you are new in the country, you cannot help another person with. For example, if you are a new nurse awaiting OSCE exam and you came to me with OSCE query, I really do not know what the current situation of the OSCE process is. I would most likely ask someone who has recently gone through the process, unless of course I am an OSCE trainer as part of my role, which I'm not. So essentially, this set of people who have only been here 12 to 24 months can really go a long way to give you a good head start. But why would I be wary of them? It's because they are still quite new, and they are also probably making their own mistakes. And this is in terms of general life advice on how to navigate your life in your new country. I mean, it took me at least 3 years here to realize some of my own folly. It means that some of the advice I may have given around that time could have been flawed. I made a video about this already. I'll put the link up here and in the description down below. There is this beautiful quote by Mark Twain, which I love very much. Keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people do that, but the really great make you feel that you too can become great. But overall, if you have been following me, you should know my stance by now when it comes to taking advice. Filter every piece of advice you receive, and until you have done your own research with more evidence to back it up, don't just accept things, including whatever you may be picking out of this video. Step 5. I would avoid all forms of consumer debt completely. Just because you have access to anything you want on credit does not mean you should take advantage of it. There is so much freedom in knowing that you have zero consumer debt. If you have no debt, do you know what you have? More money to save for investments, like at least owning your own property, which I mentioned earlier. You don't want to spend the next 10 years only to find out that you have nothing to your name. There's a famous quote which says, people often buy things they don't need with money they don't have to impress people they don't even like. It is human nature to want it and want it now. It is also a sign of immaturity. Being willing to delay pleasure for a greater result is a sign of maturity. Don't be one of those people. One of the top reasons people go into debt is because they want to build their credit score. It is rather unfortunate that you need to go into debt in order to show that you are worthy of taking more debt. But there are ways to go about building your credit score even without a credit card or any form of debt. If you want to know more about this, click on this next video. Alright, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.